Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
Thank you, Lataji. And now I will welcome Dr. Varaprasadji, who is the president of Hindu Center, who is the guest of honor for today, to give his welcome address. And as everybody knows, he's a very, very well-known personality of Singapore, who has been in the Hindu groups as well as several other groups. And he's a very well-known thinker as well as he's a very well-known leader of Hindu people of Singapore. So over to Varaprasadji.
Namaste, Namaskar, Vanakkam, and good morning, everyone. I'm indeed very honored to be amongst all of you this morning for session 8 of Gita Jayanti's online Srimad Bhagavad Gita Parayanam and Satsang, today by Sri Ramachandra Raoji. I want to thank Sri G. Srinivasan, Chairman of Gita Jayanti 2022, and Sri Krishna Kumarji, and the organizing committee for inviting me to speak. As you know, Guru Purnima falls in a few days' time on Wednesday, so I take this opportunity to give my humble and grateful pranams to Lord Sri Bhagavan Krishna, the foremost Guru, who has given us the immortal words of the Bhagavad Gita to us, and to all the Gurus who have been our teachers and mentors. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Praise Krishna, Guru of the universe. Let me now say a few words about Gita Jayanti, which is now into its 25th year of celebrations and activities. Gita Jayanti Singapore came into being in 1997 with the chanting of the Gita organized by Krishna, our guide, and the NUS Hindu Society. In those days, the NUS Hindu Society was a very active society. The following year, all the temples and Hindu organizations were involved in organizing the Gita chanting and also added a Havan, lectures, and some decentralized events. The 1999 Gita Jayanti celebrations, which was chaired by Sri K.S. Raja of Hindu Center, took off from the spiritual high reached in 1998. Hindu Center has been involved in Gita Jayanti activities since the early days. Our former leaders like Justice K.S. Raja, Professor A.N. Rao, and Sri Hariram Dayani were the bridge between Hindu Center and Gita Jayanti Singapore, laying the foundation for an enduring link with their immense contributions, and we are all greatly indebted to them. The Gita has brought together under one roof all the Hindu organizations in Singapore. More than 30 organizations have come together under the umbrella of Gita Jayanti, and each one takes turn to chair the Gita Jayanti celebrations. I'm very happy to see that Gita Jayanti Singapore has added several new activities over the years in taking the message of Gita to a cross-section of the community, including youth and children. Now, the COVID pandemic of the last 2 years has changed our lives in many ways. One significant change has been that online activities have become the norm, and Gita Jayanti Singapore has well adapted that pattern with a fortnightly Gita Parayan in a learning mode. Through this, the Gita is able to reach a much larger audience than through a physical event. So this is a silver lining for us. I'm also happy to see that the exposure is being given to local exponents of the Gita. This provides an inspiration to their followers and students to emulate them in learning about the Gita beyond just chanting, and to learn about the commentary and lessons behind them. This morning, we are going to chant the whole of chapter 7 and part of chapter 8 of the Gita. Then Sri Ramachandra Raoji will take us through the commentary. In chapter 7, Lord Krishna explains the effect of Maya and the twin sides of Prakriti. In this chapter, through a well-known shloka, he also classifies the bhakta into 4 levels. concluding, jnana is the way to understand oneself. In between, he also emphasizes the significance of the Pranav mantra Om. I applaud the Gita Jayanti committee for the wonderful work it has been doing. It is amazing that the Gita Parayanam has been ongoing every fortnight for more than 2 years. This shows the complete dedication of the Bhaktas who are organizing the series behind the scenes. If I may offer just one suggestion, in the spirit of interfaith understanding, we should next endeavor to broaden the audience for Gita Jayanti in future, perhaps by publicizing the event also through the inter-religious organization IRO. With that, I wish you all a very spiritual and fulfilling morning. Thank you and namaste. Over to you, Krishna Kumarji.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prasadji. It was a wonderful talk, and you have so succinctly brought the message of the Guru Purnima, upcoming Guru Purnima. And actually, I will jump the gun. We are going to talk about the Guru Purnima in the end because it is coming after this session. We thought we will mention about this Guru Purnima in the end, and I will jump the gun a little bit, and also about the role Gita Jayanti has played and the way it has been going on, and the role of Hindu Center in the vital role of Hindu Center, and also our pioneers, like our Justice K.S. Raja ji, then we have Hariram Dayani ji, and who was the other person?
Professor
Rao, then Dr. V.P. Nair, and so many people from Hindu Center have played very, very key role in Gita Jayanti. So thank you so much, and also a summary of chapter 7. So thank you so much, Varaprasadji, and hope you'll be around to this thing. I will just share the screen so that we'll get started. And before I will just jump the gun, I just want to show the screen which we want to ask you about Guru Purnima, so that which we want to actually pay our respects to all the gurus, all the guru traditions of Hinduism, starting with Vedvyasa himself, and then Shankaracharya, then Madhvacharya, then Ramanujacharya, Nimbarkacharya, Vallabhacharya, and all the great Vedantic traditions of Hinduism. So these are all the philosophical foundations of Hinduism. So we would like to pay our respects to Guru Purnima. This we want to do in the end, so that because it's coming after this session. And the next session we will mention in the beginning. So that this Guru Purnima is coming in between the two. So without much ado, let us get started with our procedures for today. And our speaker for today, like Dr. Prasadji was saying, is Sri Ramachandra Rao ji, who is a well-known speaker here on Bhagavad Gita in Singapore. And it has been our idea to have different speakers to talk about various chapters and from their own understandings and perspectives. And it's been a very wonderful talking ways to have excellent question answer sessions and interactions between the audience as well as the teachers, as well as the speakers. And the only thing is that we would actually not enable the audience to unmute themselves till the end of the session. And at the end of the session, people can actually unmute themselves and ask their questions to the speaker as well as on the different matters. And also the suggestion on inter-religious organizations is a wonderful one. We will discuss within these our steering committee as well as organizing committee and see how to go about that. Thank you so much for that suggestion. Okay, now let us get started with the Gita Parayan. Start with the Gita Dhyanam, the invocation with the Bhagavad Gita. So without the Dhyanam, the meditation on Bhagavad Gita, we cannot get started with Bhagavad Gita. So this will be done by Sindhuji. Over to Sindhuji, please.
Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrutavarshini Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayini Amritvam-anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatrishini Namo व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम्। लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुल्लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुः सुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः।
Beautiful, very, very beautifully chanted by Sindhuji. Thank you so much, Sindhuji. Okay, now we get into the actual Gita Parayan. So we will be doing today, as Dr. Prasad you were saying, we'll be doing full chapter 7, all the 30 verses of chapter 7, plus 11 verses of chapter 8. So that we do approximately 40 to 41 verses per session. So that we complete the whole of the Bhagavad Gita in 18 sessions. So, and initial chanting will be done by Lataji and will be repeated by Sindhuji. Over to Lataji and Sindhuji, please.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Saptamodhyayaha Jnana Vijnana Yogaha. Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha.
Maya Saktamana Partha Yogayunjanmadashrayaha.
Maya Saktamana Partha
Yogayunjanmadashrayaha.
Yogayunjanmadashrayaha.
Asamshayam samagram mam.
Asamshayam samagram mam.
Yatha jnasyasi tachrunu.
यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु
श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यासक्तमनाः पार्थ योगैयुञ्जन्मदाश्रयः असंशयं समग्रं मां यथा न्यास्यसि तच्छृणु
श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यासक्तमनाः पार्थ योगैयुञ्जन्मदाश्रयः असंशयं समग्रं मां यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु
ज्ञानन्तेऽहं सविज्ञानम्
ज्ञानन्तेऽहं सविज्ञानम्
इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः
इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः
यज्ञात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत्
यज्ञात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत्
ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते
ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते
ज्ञानन्तेऽहं सविज्ञानम् इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः यज्ञात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत् ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते
ज्ञानन्तेऽहं सविज्ञानम् इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः यज्ञात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत् ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु
कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये
कश्चिद्यतति सिद्धये
यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः
कश्चिन्मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चित् यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः
मनुष्याणां सहस्रेषु कश्चिद्यतति सिद्धये यततामपि सिद्धानां कश्चिन्मां वेत्ति तत्त्वतः
भूमिरापो नलो वायुः
भूमिरापो नलो वायुः
खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च
खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च
अहंकार इति यं मे
अहंकार इति यं मे
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा
भूमिरापो नलो वायुः खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इति यं मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा
भूमिरापो नलो वायुः खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इति यं मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा अपरेयमितस्त्वन्याम्
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे पराम्
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे पराम्
जीवभूतां महाबाहो
जीवभूतां महाबाहो
ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्
ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्याम् प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परं जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि
सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः
अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः
प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
मत्तः परतरं नान्यत्
मत्तः परतरं नान्यत्
किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय
किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय
मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतम्
मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतम्
सूत्रे मणिगणा इव
सूत्रे मणिगणा इव
मत्तः परतरं नान्यत् किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतम् सूत्रे मणिगणा इव
मत्तः परतरं नान्यत् किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतं सूत्रे मणिगणा इव रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय
रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय
प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः
प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः
प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु
प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु
शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृपो
शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृषु
रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृषु
रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृषु
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च
तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ
तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ
जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु
जीवनौ सर्वभूतेषु
तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु
तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनौ सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु
पुण्यो गन्धः पृथिव्यां च तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ जीवनौ सर्वभूतेषु तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु
बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां
बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां
विद्धि पार्थ सनातनम्
विद्धि पार्थ सनातनम्
बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि
बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि
तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां विद्धि पार्थ सनातनम् बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
बीजं मां सर्वभूतानां विद्धि पार्थ सनातनम् बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
बलं बलवतां चाहं
बलं बलवतां चाहम्
कामरागविवर्जितम्
कामरागविवर्जितम्
धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु
धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु
कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
बलं बलवतां चाहं कामरागविवर्जितं धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
बलं बलवतां चाहं कामरागविवर्जितं धर्माविरुद्धो भूतेषु कामोऽस्मि भरतर्षभ
ये चैव सात्विका भावाः
ये चैव सात्विका भावाः
राजसास्तामसाश्च ये
राजसास्तामसाश्च ये
मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि
मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि
न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि
न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि
ये चैव सात्विका भावाः राजसास्तामसाश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि
ये चैव सात्विका भावाः राजसास्तामसाश्च ये मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि न त्वहं तेषु ते मयि
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः
एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत्
एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत्
मोहितं नाभिजानाति
मोहितं नाभिजानाति
मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैः एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितन्नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी
दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी
मम माया दुरत्यया
मम माया दुरत्यया
मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते
मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते
मायामेतान्तरन्ति ते
मायामेतान्तरन्ति ते
दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतान्तरन्ति ते
दैवी ह्येषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायामेतान्तरन्ति ते न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः
न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः
प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः
प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः
माययापहृतज्ञानाः
माययापहृतज्ञानाः
आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः
आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः
न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञानाः आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः
न मां दुष्कृतिनो मूढाः प्रपद्यन्ते नराधमाः माययापहृतज्ञानाः आसुरं भावमाश्रिताः
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम्
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां
जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन
जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन
आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी
आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी
ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ
ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम् जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते मां जनाः सुकृतिनोऽर्जुन आर्तो जिज्ञासुरर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरतर्षभ
तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः
तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः
एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते
एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते
प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम्
प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम्
अहं स च मम प्रियः
अहं स च मम प्रियः
तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः
तेषां ज्ञानी नित्ययुक्तः एकभक्तिर्विशिष्यते प्रियो हि ज्ञानिनोत्यर्थम् अहं स च मम प्रियः
उदाराः सर्व एवैते
उदाराः सर्व एवैते
ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम्
ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम्
आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा
आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा
मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम्
मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम्
उदाराः सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम्
उदाराः सर्व एवैते ज्ञानी त्वात्मैव मे मतम् आस्थितः स हि युक्तात्मा मामेवानुत्तमां गतिम्
बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते
बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते
ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते
ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते
वासुदेवः सर्वमिति
वासुदेवः सर्वमिति
समहात्मा सुदुर्लभः
समहात्मा सुदुर्लभः
बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति समहात्मा सुदुर्लभः
बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेवः सर्वमिति समहात्मा सुदुर्लभः
कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञानाः
कामैस्तैस्तैहृतज्ञानाः
प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवताः
प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवताः
तन्तन्नियममास्थाय
तन्तन्नियममास्थाय
प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया
प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया
कामैस्तैस्तैर्हृतज्ञानाः प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवताः तन्तन्नियममास्थाय प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया
कामैस्तैस्तैहृतज्ञानाः प्रपद्यन्तेऽन्यदेवताः तन्तन्नियममास्थाय प्रकृत्या नियता स्वया
यो यो यान्यान्तनुं भक्तः
यो यो यान्तनुं भक्तः
श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति
श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति
तस्याचलां श्रद्धां
तस्याचलां श्रद्धां
तामेव विदधाम्यहम्
तामेव विदधाम्यहम्
यो यो यान्तनुं भक्तः श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति तस्याचलां श्रद्धां तामेव विदधाम्यहम्
यो यो यान्तनुं भक्तः श्रद्धयार्चितुमिच्छति तस्याचलां श्रद्धां तामेव विदधाम्यहम् सतया श्रद्धया युक्तः
सतया श्रद्धया युक्तः
तस्याराधनमीहते
तस्याराधनमीहते
लभते च ततः कामान्
लभते च ततः कामान्
मयैव विहितान् हितान्
मयैव विहितान् हितान्
सतया श्रद्धया युक्तः तस्याराधनमीहते लभते च ततः कामान् मयैव विहितान् हितान्
सतया श्रद्धया युक्तः तस्याराधनमीहते लभते च ततः कामान् मयैव विहितान् हितान्
अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषाम्
अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषाम्
तद्भवत्यल्पमेधसाम्
तद्भवत्यल्पमेधसाम्
देवान् देवयजो यान्ति
देवान् देवयजो यान्ति
मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि
मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि
अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषाम् तद्भवत्यल्पमेधसाम् देवान् देवयजो यान्ति मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि
अन्तवत्तु फलं तेषां तद्भवत्यल्पमेधसाम् देवान् देवयजो यान्ति मद्भक्ता यान्ति मामपि
अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नम्
अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नम्
मन्यन्ते माम बुद्धयः
मन्यन्ते माम बुद्धयः
परं भावमजानन्तः
परं भावमजानन्तः
ममाव्ययमनुत्तमम्
ममाव्ययमनुत्तमम्
अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नं मन्यन्ते माम बुद्धयः परं भावमजानन्तः ममाव्ययमनुत्तमम्
अव्यक्तं व्यक्तिमापन्नं मन्यन्ते माम बुद्धयः परं भावमजानन्तः ममाव्ययमनुत्तमम्
नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य
नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य
योगमाया समावृतः
योगमाया समावृतः
मूढो यन्नाभिजानाति
मूढो यन्नाभिजानाति
लोको मामजमव्ययम्
लोको मामजमव्ययम्
नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य योगमाया समावृतः मूढो यन्नाभिजानाति लोको मामजमव्ययम्
नाहं प्रकाशः सर्वस्य योगमाया समावृतः मूढो यन्नाभिजानाति लोको मामजमव्ययम्
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वेदाहं समतीतानि
वर्तमानानि चार्जुन
वर्तमानानि चार्जुन
भविष्याणि च भूतानि
भविष्याणि च भूतानि
मां तु वेद न कश्चन
मां तु वेद न कश्चन
वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन भविष्याणि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन
वेदाहं समतीतानि वर्तमानानि चार्जुन भविष्याणि च भूतानि मां तु वेद न कश्चन
मुक्तेन
इच्छाद्वेषसमुत्थेन
द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत
द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत
सर्वभूतानि
सम्मोहं
सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप
सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप
इच्छाद्वेषसमुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप
इच्छाद्वेषसमुत्थेन द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहं सर्गे यान्ति परन्तप
येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ताः भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ताः भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः
येषां त्वन्तगतं पापं जनानां पुण्यकर्मणां ते द्वन्द्वमोहनिर्मुक्ताः भजन्ते मां दृढव्रताः जरामरणमोक्षाय मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुः कृत्स्नम् अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम् जरामरणमोक्षाय मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुः कृत्स्नम् अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम्
जरामरणमोक्षाय मामाश्रित्य यतन्ति ये ते ब्रह्म तद्विदुः कृत्स्नम् अध्यात्मं कर्म चाखिलम्
साधिभूताधिदैवं मां साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च माम् ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः साधिभूताधिदैवं मां साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च मां ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः
साधिभूताधिदैवं च दैवं मां साधियज्ञं च ये विदुः प्रयाणकालेऽपि च मां ते विदुर्युक्तचेतसः।
ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे ज्ञानविज्ञानयोगो नाम सप्तमोऽध्यायः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। अथ अष्टमोऽध्यायः अक्षरब्रह्मयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
किं तद्ब्रह्म किमध्यात्मम्
किं तद्ब्रह्म किमध्यात्मम्
किं कर्म पुरुषोत्तम
किं कर्म पुरुषोत्तम
अधिभूतं च किं प्रोक्तम्
अधिभूतं च किं प्रोक्तम्
अधिदैवं किमुच्यते
अधिदैवं किमुच्यते।
अर्जुन उवाच किं तद्ब्रह्म किमध्यात्मम् किं कर्म पुरुषोत्तम अधिभूतं च किं प्रोक्तम् अधिदैवं किमुच्यते।
अर्जुन उवाच किं तद्ब्रह्म किमध्यात्मम् किं कर्म पुरुषोत्तम अधिभूतं च किं प्रोक्तम् अधिदैवं किमुच्यते।
अधियज्ञः कथं कोत्र
अधियज्ञः कथं कोत्र
देहेऽस्मिन् मधुसूदन
देहेऽस्मिन् मधुसूदन
प्रयाणकाले च कथम्
प्रयाणकाले च कथं
ज्ञेयोऽसि नियतात्मभिः
ज्ञेयोऽसि नियतात्मभिः।
अधियज्ञः कथं कोत्र देहेऽस्मिन् मधुसूदन प्रयाणकाले च कथं ज्ञेयोऽसि नियतात्मभिः।
अधियज्ञः कथं कोत्र देहेऽस्मिन् मधुसूदन प्रयाणकाले च कथं ज्ञेयोऽसि नियतात्मभिः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
अक्षरं ब्रह्म परमम्
अक्षरं ब्रह्म परमम्
स्वभावोऽध्यात्ममुच्यते
स्वभावोऽध्यात्ममुच्यते
भूतभावोद्भवकरः
भूतभावोद्भवकरः
विसर्गः कर्मसंज्ञितः
विसर्गः कर्म संज्ञितः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच अक्षरं ब्रह्म परमं स्वभावोऽध्यात्ममुच्यते भूतभावोद्भवकरः विसर्गः कर्मसंज्ञितः।
श्रीभगवानुवाच अक्षरं ब्रह्म परमं स्वभावोऽध्यात्ममुच्यते भूतभावोद्भवकरः विसर्गः कर्म संज्ञितः।
अधिभूतं क्षरो भावः
अधिभूतं क्षरो भावः
पुरुषश्चाधिदैवतम्
पुरुषश्चाधिदैवतम्
अधियज्ञोऽहमेवात्र
अधियज्ञोऽहमेवात्र
देहे देहभृतां वर
देहे देहभृतां वर
अधिभूतं क्षरो भावः पुरुषश्चाधिदैवतम् अधियज्ञोऽहमेवात्र देहे देहभृतां वर
अधिभूतं क्षरो भावः पुरुषश्चाधिदैवतम् अधियज्ञोऽहमेवात्र देहे देहभृतां वर
अन्तकाले च मामेव
अन्तकाले च मामेव
स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्
स्मरन्मुक्त्वा कलेवरम्
यः प्रयाति समद्भावम्
यः प्रयाति समद्भावम्
याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः
याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरम् यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः
अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन्मुक्त्वा कलेवरम् यः प्रयाति समद्भावम् याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः यै वापि स्मरन् भावम्
ययं वापि स्मरन् भावम्
त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम्
त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम्
तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय
तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय
सदा तद्भावभावितः
सदा तद्भावभावितः
यय्यं वापि स्मरन् भावम् त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः
ययं वापि स्मरन् भावम् त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरम् तन्तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैष्यस्य संशयम् तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैष्यस्य संशयम्
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैष्यस्य संशयम् अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन
चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यम् याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन् अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्
कविं पुराणमनुशासितारम्
कविं पुराणमनुशासितारम्
अणोरणीयां समनुस्मरेद्यः
अणोरणीयां समनुस्मरेद्यः
सर्वस्य धातारमचिन्त्य रूपम्
सर्वस्य धातारमचिन्त्य रूपम्
आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात्
आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात्
कविं पुराणमनुशासितारम् अणोरणीयां समनुस्मरेद्यः सर्वस्य धातारमचिन्त्य रूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात्
कविं पुराणमनुशासितारम् अणोरणीयां समनुस्मरेद्यः सर्वस्य धातारमचिन्त्य रूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात्
प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन
प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन
भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव
भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव
भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक्
ध्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक्
सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्
सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्
प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्
प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव ध्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्
यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति
यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति
विशन्ति यत्यतयो वीतरागाः
विशन्ति यत्यतयो वीतरागाः
यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति
यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति
तत्ते पदं सङ्ग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये
तत्ते पदं सङ्ग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये
यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यत्यतयो वीतरागाः यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदं सङ्ग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये
यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति विशन्ति यद्यतयो वीतरागाः यदिच्छन्तो ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति तत्ते पदं सङ्ग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये
Hari Om. Thank you so much for all the beautiful chantings. So the wonderful words of Lord Krishna have been beautifully chanted by our wonderful chanters. And the in the meanings of the verses that are given in the earlier slides, you will see some short forms at the end, like 2 letters, often 2 letters, and they are actually short forms. So the authors of the great commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita by various masters of different traditions. So they include people like SC stands for Swami Chimayananda, Swami Dayananda Ji, Swami Gambhirananda, George Feuerstein, Swami Vireshwarananda, Eknathishwaran, Dr. Radhakrishnan, Swami Rama, Yuan Maskaro, etc. So as you can see, these are actually from different traditions, and also from Eastern and Western traditions, as well as from academic, as well as from psychological perspectives. All the different kinds of understandings or commentaries of Bhagavad Gita are actually used for taking the meanings in the earlier slides. Now we move over to the Gita Mahatmya, and this will be chanted by Umaji. Umaji, please.
Atha Gita Mahatmyam Gita Shastramidam Punyam Yah Pathet Prayatah Puman Vishnoh Padamamapnoti Bhayashokaadivarjitah Gitaadhyayanashilasya Pranayamaparasya cha Naiva santi hi papani Purvajanma kritani cha Malanirmochanam punsam Jalasnanandine dine Sakrit Gita bhasi snanam Sansara madanashanam Gita sugita kartavya Himanyai shastra vistaraihi Ya swayam padmanabhasya Mukha padmat vinusrita Bharatamrita sarvasvam Vishnor vaktrat vinisrutam Gita gangotakam pitva Punarjanmana vidyate Sarvopanishado gavaka Dukta gopalanandanaha Partho vatsas sudhir bhokta Duktam Gitamritam mahat Ekam shastram devaki putra gitam Eko devo devaki putra eva Eko mantrastasya namani yani Karma kantasya devasya sevaha Om Tat Sat.
Thank you so much, Umaji. So that beautiful chanting. And I have to mention the names of our chanters for today. They are Lataji, and then Sindhuji, Rajitaji, Sahanaji, Sindhuji, and Umaji. So actually, Ananya was supposed to chant after Lataji, but she could not join due to some her work commitments. And thank you again. And the Mahatmyam, the invocation was chanted by Lataji, Gita Mahatmyam by Sindhuji, and Gita Dhyanam by Sindhuji, and Gita Mahatmyam by Umaji. And the final closing prayers would be by Lataji. That will be at the end of it. Now we move over to the next very important part of the segment. This will be the talk for the session, chapter 7, and this will be done by Sri Ramachandra Rauji. He is a very well-known speaker of Bhagavad Gita in Singapore. He is also the judge of several of the Gita Jayanti's competitions. So we're very glad to have Sri Ramachandra Ji to share his understanding and his deep learning on the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you, and over to Sri Rauji. So Rauji,
Yes,
you have to unmute yourself and speak.
Yeah, I am unmuted. Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Sri Krishna. Am I audible? Am I visible?
Very audible, very visible, very perfect.
Very good. 1 minute. Jai Sri Krishna. Firstly, my humble prostrations to the lotus feet of my Guru, Param Puja Shantaram Bhandarkar Maharaj Ji, Without his grace, I would have continued to wander like a street dog with no aim in life. Prior to meeting him, you may not be knowing it, I was just eating, sleeping, barking and biting with my words, probably, roaming aimlessly in the world, thinking that I was busy and enjoying my life. But my Guru came into my life on his own, on a Guru Purnima day. My wife and I, after reading a chapter each from Sai Satcharitra in the year 2007, just like what is mentioned in Panchadasi chapter 1, verses 30, 31 and 32, talking about beings like me, Panchadasi says, they go from birth to birth, me like a stray dog, go from birth to birth as worms that have slipped into a river or swept from one whirlpool to another and never attain peace. When the good deeds performed by them in past births bear fruit, the worms enjoy rest, being lifted from the river and become emotional from the river by a compassionate person and placed under the shade of a tree on the bank. That is why my Guru, that is what my Guru did to me when I was wandering like the stray dog. My humble prostrations at his lotus feet and holy feet once again. Also, Charan Spurs to all of you today who are on the call. You are all learned, highly evolved spiritually, and knew Gita in and out, and also have a large heart to hear from me, who is just a beginner in this path. Charan's first to all of you once again. Charan's first to all gurus, saints, and other divine souls whose writings and whose speeches I could get the fortune of read and hear so far. My humble prostrations to all the coordinators of this great divine yajna, what is going on today. Now coming to today's topic, I'm given chapter 7 summary. This is one of the most likely chapter by me. I love this chapter. Before I start, I just want to say that I do not intend to dwell too much on the technical aspects of this chapter. I will try to tell here what I understood from this chapter, what are my learnings, action points, where my pitfalls are, shortcomings in progressing rapidly in this spiritual path. Just if we take a step back in one sentence or two sentences, what chapter 1 of Gita told us. As you all know, it's all about our problems, our story. Most of the time, problems, confusions about our duty, emotions, attachments, how I am right about what I feel, what I say, give up or quit action, can't think right, indecision, all are actually summed up. Poor Arjuna actually stood representing all the human beings all the time in front of Krishna and got that chapter run for all of us. Now, chapter 2 to chapter 6 is the essence of Karma Yoga, all of us know. But I understood only two things from that. In just a summarization, if I were to do, all I understood is Karma Yoga is all about Chitta Shuddhi or purification. And the easiest tool for Chitta Shuddhi is, what I understood is, all the actions I do, all the karmas I do, I should do with Iswararpana Buddhi, and whatever are the results of such actions, I should offer or I should accept as Prasada Buddhi. This is the famous kind of, a sentence coined for all of us to practice. But I got the basic and fundamental doubt. I am a Moda. In the beginning itself, I told my intellect, my understanding is not as evolved as yours is. I am Moda. I fundamentally asked, who is this Iswara? All the efforts are mine, and I offer such actions to him. And on top of it, whatever is the result of such action, my efforts, okay, my planning, I should take it as his prasad. Why? I told you I'm a Moda. These are fundamental questions I get. But Lord Krishna actually knows, he's very smart. We all know that, right? God, of course, is smart. And Lord Krishna is smart. And he knew fools like me ask these questions. And he even did not wait for Arjuna to represent me and ask that question. Straight away, he said, I am allocating 6 chapters from chapter 7 onwards to answer all these questions. So now today onwards, whatever next 6 chapters are there, he speaks on at length, in detail, about who is he, what is his form or swarupam, where is he, why am I not able to see him, why is he hiding from everyone, is he really hiding from us, what is this word, Jagat, how to worship him, you see, how have I been worshipping him so far, in fact, what is devotion? Who is worth being called a devotee? Oh my God. And what are his glories? All these questions he answers in the next 6 chapters, starting from 7th chapter onwards. And now we are the inaugural session of this segment. I think you all have chosen me rightly because I don't know anything. And these questions at least will be answered in this session for me. Okay. Before dwelling on this topic, I again must remember what my guru says always. When it comes to God, very simply, he used to say, you are looking all for God, right? He says, God is above you. God is below you. God is in front of you. God is behind you. Of course, God is here behind. God is behind you. And he is there on your left. He is there on your right. You are sitting or standing on God. And God is sitting on or standing on you. What a wonderful statement it is, right? Yet, the paradoxical thing is, yet, I am unable to find him and see him. Oh, what a tragedy for me. Okay, look at some of the statements which are worth noting before we go into verses. One disciple told his guru, after the lesson sessions are over, what you learned, his guru asked, Guruji, Swamiji, all is God. That is what I understood. But Guru said, no, only God is. Both are right? I don't understand. You may be understanding that. But it's a wonderful thing. I thought I would mention it. Many said this world is an illusion. This Jagat, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. Everybody knows it, right? But many others said, how can you say this world is real? Because every day, how can you say this world is not real? Because every day in and day out, I'm seeing this world. How can you say this is Mithya? But there are also a few saints. This is like a riddle. These saints who said, or who also said, who said world is not real? There are one person who said world is not real. Because the entire universe and beyond that, there is only Brahman which is real. So, world is real. My God. So much to dwell upon, right? Really, now come back. Do I not know who is God? Every day in my prayers, I chant, saying, when I chant Vinayaka, I say, Tvameva pratyaksham tamasi, Tvameva kevalam kartasi, Tvameva kevalam dhartasi, Tvameva kevalam hartasi, Tvameva sarvam khalvidam brahmasi. I say, also I say, Chantakaram bhujagasayanam padmanabham suresham, Vishwadharam gaganasadrusham meghavarnam shubhangam, so on and so forth. And Lalita Sahasram, Antarmukha Samaradhya, Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. I chant every time. Antar Bahitsa Tatarpatat Sarvam Vyapya Narayana Sthitaha. But seems really I don't know the essence of what my prayers are. I just chant mechanically. I only know that when I am in troubles, by these prayers and worship, the Supreme Lord will come and save me, or God should take care of all my troubles so that I can have a peaceful life. These are the two things in my mind when I come for the prayer. You have not seen, of course, altar is inside. In my altar, Balaji appears in a different way. All of you see Balaji in a different way, or great, all the gods you see in a different way. Like in Tirumala, if you see, I mean, not the Tirupati, not Tirumala, Tirupati. God says like this, right? God stays. He says, okay, I bless you, you offer it to me. I also saw since my childhood God like this. But then of late, when I turned 60 and doing the same prayers, now God is worried. And now he says like this. Nobody could see. I am only seeing. Every time I come, he just really worries. Because 1 to 60 years, you have been asking the same thing. I have given you everything. Change the gear, change the track. At least now. So he is worried. Anyway, that is on the lighter side. Okay. Lord straight away in verse 1 and 2 cleared my doubts. Very clearly he said, beautifully chanted. All of you Devis, you chanted Maya Saktamana Partha. The first word, Lord Krishna is very smart. He first word itself. That's why he has got so many wives, right? He knows how to please them and how to hit them also. Maya Saktamana Ravu. Partha Nikalo I Rav. Okay. Maya Sakta. There I stopped actually. 1 week I was thinking, Maya Sakta, Krishna says first, my Asakta is not on him. Therefore, your Asakta should be on me. That is what Krishna is trying to say. How can I always think of him? Does he think I am a Somare, somewhere, or sitting just like that, always thinking of him? He should know I have a lot of problems, first of all. And of course, duties, aspirations. I have budgets, EMIs, children's studies, college admission, marriages, and many more. Now, therefore, I have to devote most of the time to my family, my possessions, my investment. Today's stock market, Krishna doesn't know what a stock market rupee depreciates. Oil up and down. So I have to take care of that. And on top of it, I have likes and dislikes. I have to like some people, I have to dislike some people. My God, where is my time? Asakta is there for me on Lord Krishna, but part-time. I must admit that I have a part-time asakta on need base or whenever I have a feel-good factor. That I agree. Okay. Second important word he used is madashraya. Your mind is always sheltered under me. Bhagavan is saying these words. You be fully focused on me and take shelter under me. Then only, he says, Samagram, because I asked who is this God. First I said, no, Ishvara, I asked who is this God. So he says, first you do these two, then only you will know me fully. Samagram, asamshayam, without any doubt. You will know me. Oh, I understand now a little bit. Then he started talking about Jnanam and Vijnanam. Many interpretations are there for Jnanam and Vijnanam, right? A few things is, one is theoretical and practical. You can always say theoretically Jnanam, practically Vijnanam. Or experiential in the practical world. Or worldly knowledge and self-knowledge. Some people have interpreted as worldly knowledge as Jnanam, self-knowledge, Atma Jnanam is a Vijnanam. Oh, is it? But someone went a step further and said, both worldly knowledge and knowing about self-knowledge are all Jnanam. It is only in information. Where is the transformation? Intellectual versus experiential. That is what Lord is trying to say. At least I understood. I noticed that Krishna is pushing me or us towards Vijnana. Don't stop at Jnana. Now, verse 3 is very important. Verse 3, Manushyanam Sahasreshu. Beautiful verse. How I don't know how I can tell in 30 minutes, but let us see. This is very important. Bhagavan is telling me that I am already in the select 15 members of the cricket team representing India. Manushyanam Sahasreshu. Wow. If a telephone call has come that I am selected in the 15 or 16 or 17 members of the team, I am very happy. So he says, you are in the team, Rob. Be happy. You are in the team. But Lord is also telling me that his worry is, Rao, you and many people, I have selected many people every time for a test. I am selecting 15 people. many times, most of these people remain complacent once they get selected. Okay, and they are not trying to win matches for me. And someone 15th to, he is graduating up to 12th man and stopping there. It's seeing in this verse, not see emotions we can see. He is actually encouraging us, he is supporting us, he is telling us our greatness, and yet he is telling that push yourself. You are not an ordinary person. Push, push, push. Wonderful. I took that kind of a motivation from this verse. But I should not walk down. That is what he was telling. But he is also telling the path from now onwards, where from the 15th member of the test team is not easy. He is asking me put intense efforts, because only one rare person will attain. That's what he is telling. He is telling basically, you are at the Mount Everest base camp. Having come here, how many people will come here? Now onwards, your aim and objective is to go to the top of Mount Everest. I want you to see that you fly the flag at the top of the Mount Everest. But understand, not many people from the base camp have gone up to that. But you can do it. It's very difficult, very hard, but you can do it. That's what he was telling. Wonderful verse. Every time I want an inspiration, I read this verse. I remember this verse. It gives a lot of inspiration. I push myself, try and see whether I can push myself or not. Now, verse 4 to 11, together, Bhagavan explains, this is really about knowledge, about what is God, I asked, right? What is the world? What is God, I asked. He tries to explain, he continues to explain. He never stops explaining this. But a wonderful, brief kind of summary, if I give, he tells about himself, his nature, his swarupa. He says, his swarupa has twofold called para and apara. Okay, what does it mean? Some people say higher nature and lower nature. Some people say that, categorize that. The lower nature, apara prakriti or apara shakti, the prakriti predominantly, it called. What is the prakriti? Prakriti predominantly consisting of 5 elements: manaha, buddhi, ahankar, ego. I don't have to explain. I will quickly run that. All jivas in this universe belong to prakriti. The moment we have taken a birth, be it a human being, be it a tree, be it an animal, anything, we belong to prakriti. So we are in prakriti. There is no doubt about it. But Bhagavan says that his higher nature, para prakriti, which is consciousness or chaitanya, is the one which sustains and supports this prakriti. Many people have interpreted this into volumes and volumes. I salute our great rishis and maharshis who actually gone beyond what you call comprehensible by senses. They have gone beyond that, and they say this chaitanya is supporting, and the examples they give are fantastic. What are the examples they give? Simply see water, ocean, water, waves. Whether it is a wave, whether it is a water, whether it is a wave or an ocean, water supports that. I am that. You may call me any kind of name, but I am supporting this whole drama in this universe. Bhagavan telling that universe cannot sustain without my support as consciousness. Shantakaram Buddhikashainam Padmanabam Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrusham. This is wonderful. I think you dwell on that. How can it be? He is Adharam, he is Gagana Sadrusham. Oh my God. Fantastic. I understood that. But he went on to say that it is just not that. And he gives his glories or nature. Of course, of chapter 10, it is elaborately explained, but he gives a little bit of taste. And for the taste, he started saying with the water. I am a stupidity in water, and the light in the sun and the moon, and Omkara in Vedas. The strength, Balam Balavatam Chaham, the strength, Kamaraga Vivarjitam, the strength which is free from desire and passion in the strong is also him. My God, in a nutshell, every glory, every excellence in this universe belong to him. He says that. After going through these verses, dear Mahatmas and Devis in the call, after going through these verses and thinking deeply, think for a night, think for a day, or think for a week, I did that. I melted with humility. What is there for me? For a minute, all the ego I have got just vanished. At least at the time when I was contemplating on these verses, got smashed, crushed. Whatever I think, whatever little I think I have in me, it is very clear now that everything belongs to him. He has graced. That's why it has come due to him. But then at the end, nothing to worry. I'm so fortunate. I am so fortunate that I am 1% of the top people in the world today. Today, living in Singapore, living in this comfortable place, talking on Gita and listening to your divine chanting and talking. I'm top 1% or even more than that. Be it the glory of God. I don't care, but I'm blessed. I'm very fortunate. My humble gratitude to the Supreme Lord. Then the verses teaches me also, when I said I'm the stability in water, I also thought, yeah, if that is the case, when I drink water, did I ever think of him once? No. When I really, demonstrate something, that intellect, did I ever think it is God's grace? No. If I have a dharmic desire, that's a very important. We are all, we do not belong to that class. We belong to this where we have dharmic desires. And I feel so happy that I have got this dharmic desire. But did I take a step back and say, this desire has arisen because it is kama raga vivarjitam. This desire has arisen only because of the grace of the Lord. So this is eye-opener for me. The wonder is, despite everything belong to him alone, he being all-pervading, no one is able to see him or perceive him or realize him. Sometimes do not recognize that he is there. Everything is me, I ego. So that's because we are in Prakriti, we are in Jivas. He doesn't stop there. Why is this happening? Because all my questions he is answering in chapter 7 itself. He says, Blessed Lord says from 12 to 14, Rao, it is not your mistake. It is not a mistake of anyone in this universe. You should know there are two things that are happening in this Prakriti, which is Maya and Gunas. Maya and Gunas, this Prakriti is consisting of Maya. Mama Maya, the Maya has come from me. He again jumbles, again chapter 9, or everywhere he jumbles this Maya and Purusha and Prakriti, Maya. Mama Maya, he says, which is mix of three Gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Maya is something mysterious, which cannot be understood. The only way to come out of Maya is just to cross, nothing more than that. It is said that crossing of Maya is possible only with the Guru's grace. Only with the grace of Sadguru, who is a realized person. We read that. In a nutshell, as long as we are in Prakriti and revel in Gunas, knowing or realizing the Supreme God is not possible. That is more or less we are. Maya is the power of Brahma. What he says, Mama Maya, that means he is also affected. Mama Maya means why he is not affected, why we are affected, what is the mistake we have done, why the bias, prejudice. He says, you are not understood. I am not affected by it. Simple, I am looking for an example. The example is the best one. Cobra. For cobra, poison is power. Right? Anybody take even a dose. Don't go for a bottle of poison. Yeah, one drop of poison is sufficient. We can see the taste of it, effect of it. But cobra has full of venom, poison. It is not affected by that. Rather, it is the power of cobra. So Bhagavan says that it is the power of me. It doesn't affect me. It only affects you. It just, what you have to do, you cross over. You just escape from the cobra. That's the only way you can be also with no effect of this one, the Maya. So now I understand, summing up all this universe invariably under the spell of Maya, and therefore is subject to three gunas, because Maya veils the truth. This Maya is the covering. Maya weighs the truth. We are unable to see the Supreme Lord. This kind of inability in scriptures called as ignorance, avidya. That is what scriptures call. We talk in the Vedantic discussions. But Lord says, Mama Maya, we have seen, Mama Maya is my power, but I am not affected. So we can always classify Lord as Maya Dhina or Maya Dhisa. So he is not affected. If we coin those two words, we can understand that, yeah, to reach Paramatma, we have to cross Maya. It's very simple. And Maya to cross is Jagat, universe is. With three gunas, universe, you just cross. Very simple. Oh my God, it's so simple. Not so simple. In verse 15, Bhagavan comes out scathingly attacking those who enjoy in this Prakriti and forget the purpose of human life. And what words he used in that? Mudha. Oh, I think probably he remembered me. Mudha. Naradhama. Oh my God. Adhama, Nara. Oh, they belong to the group who always does Dushkruti. Dushkruti is all bad deeds. That's the reason why those who drown in the sensory pleasures and the world do not come to me. That's the reason why those people do not. Anyway, don't worry. He's telling, don't worry. I have already said verse 3 for you. I have reserved for you. I'm only for your academic interest is telling that other people. We all worry, why other people are not coming. I know I am learning something very good. Oh, my neighbor should come. My son should come. My brother-in-law should come. My mother-in-law should come. Brother-in-law, mother-in-law never come. You should not attend. The rest of the people might come. So this is the reason. Thank God I do not belong to verse 15. Now, verse 16 to 19, very important verse, and I like this. And this is a kind of a ready reckoner for us as to gauge where I am. He says, you are not Duskruti. I said there is Sukruti. These Sukruti are called as categorized as Bhaktas. Chaturvidam Mam Bhajante. Bhajante Bhaktas, who actually who take refuge at the Lord. So Bhagavan is very smart. He is a very good statistician, good analyst, both. He says all the Bhaktas are coming, crores and crores. Kopala you see, Tirupati you see, or Vaishno Devi you see, loads and loads of people, but he knows. So immediately he VIP, some queues are there, a special darshan VIP, like that. He also categorized, anyway, not to degrade. Bhagavan himself do not degrade. All of us are in Sukruti and Bhaktas. He categorized into 4 categories. Category 1, who approaches God when in problems or crisis. Swami Paramathananda very nicely says, these are all crisis Bhaktas. I thought it is further. Crying Bhakta. These Bhaktas always cry. I mostly belong to this category, so I can say that. Okay. Second category is if they approach God for all good things to happen to them. They are very smart. They don't want to come at the time of crisis crying. Before that time itself, usko pakdo. Like networking karo Bhagwan se. Networking karne se fayda hoga na. Problem hone se fayda hoga. At the time you don't have to go. Those are the second category. LIC slogan is Paramathananda coin for this category. Now third category is inquisitive about God. He has crossed stage 1 and 2. He understood. He want to know about Bhagwan's Leela. He want to know about his Swarupam. He want to know about his Vibhutis. He want to know everything about God. These Bhaktas love only God. They are now far away from the category 1 and 2. This worship, just to know more about God, and that too out of love. We are all, not I said category 1. My category is category 1. All of you are in category 3 and probably category 4. So you don't have to worry. The first 2 is meant for me. Now this is meant for you. That's why we are doing Gita Yajnas, Yajna after Yajna, year after year. So many chanting, so many speakers speaking. That's how we are. We want to know more and more because we love what we are now doing. That's the this category. Now fourth category, nothing more to learn. There is nothing more to learn. Ask or seek, realize as God is with him and always connected. 1 and 2 Bhaktas want God for worldly matters or help. They want him for help in solving the worldly problems, but they should not bog down. They should proceed. I think I'm running out of time probably. Category 3 doesn't, okay. Now category 4, Bhagavan says, beautiful verses about category 4. Our target of Mount Everest is this category 4. That is our target. What he says about category 4, Tesham Jnani Nitya Yukta Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate. Nitya Yukta, that Jnani, that Eka Bhaktir Vishishyate, Priyo hi Jnanino Atyadham. Aham Sacha Mama Priya. He loves me, I also love him. So what he's trying to say is 1, 2, 3 category, they love me. 4th category, they love me and I also love them. A little bit of adding. And not only that, Bahunam Janmanamante Gyanapan Ma Prapatyante Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Some Mahatma Sadurlabaha. That is what verse 3 is telling. Some Mahatma Sadurlabaha. I am giving you a challenge. You go and take up the challenge. That is what Bhagavan is telling. Go there and you can do it. That's what he is telling. I quickly proceed to 20 to 23 verses. Bhagavan touches about desires, prompted worships and prayers. Then whatever you are praying for desires, I give Shraddha, inculcate Shraddha, and I make it to happen. There is nothing wrong. Udara Sabha Evaite. He said, all the other categories, don't worry about it. You are already in the elite class. You remember God. You take refuge under God. You are all great people. Don't worry. But only thing is, you have to progress it. You don't stop it. I think last I will go ahead in order to complete this. Verse 28, that's very, very important. Te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dhrudabrata. This is the takeaway for me. Dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dhrudabrata. Now I got my answer. My journey henceforth should be what? How to strive, practice, and try to live the dvandva moha nirmukta lifestyle. Bhajante mam. Have to worship the Supreme Lord. Mam means Supreme Lord. Dhrudabrata. This is where I am actually. Dhrudabrata is convert part-time into full-time. Bhagavan says, I am giving you full-time job. Why you want to go for a part-time? Don't go that. From these four categories, Lord indicates you should have Ananya Chintana. You should have Mameka Sharanam. You should say, My Sarvani Bhutani. Many places they say. Simply, my Guru says, simple tip, he says, make him our salt. If you really want to connect ever, like the category 4, what you should do, make him our salt, sugar, perfume, our water, our very breath, our clothes, our floor on which we walk. See him everywhere. Silently feel his absence. That's more important. Bhakta, feel his absence. Cry when no one observes you. That you can do it, right? We can do it. We do a lot of things in bathrooms, right? Singing, beautiful singing, beating all the singers, great singers. But cry once for the God. Feel emptiness and at the same time feel the fullness of him everywhere. What a kind of accept praise, insults, neglect, difficulties, disasters at his base is prasad. Love him as if you are with your beloved and he is your beloved. Get lost into him and let it be a secret too. We don't have to tell anything. People may think that I'm a crazy guy, I'm a mad fellow. Let him say that is the first kind of qualification that I am connected to God. When people say that I'm a mad fellow, I think I am on the right track. That's fine. Okay. So I'll stop here. Greatest examples in this is Prahlada and Gopis. But I think I have exceeded 5 minutes. Thank you. It's not what you call a complete summarization, but I thought I will at least give what my key learnings are. Prostrations for having patiently heard me. If there are anything, any misinterpretation or wrong saying, all to me. If anything is right, all glories to Lord Krishna and my Guru and all of you who have actually patiently heard me. Jai Sri Krishna. Charan Spas to all of you. Charan Spas.
Thank you so much, Rauji, for the very, very beautiful and humor-filled take on Bhagavad Gita chapter 7. Chapter 7, as you correctly said, it's chapter that is dealing with the Bhagavan and his connection to the world and the universe. So basically some kind of a bridge between the physical nature as well as the transcendental nature. So that is being discussed in this chapter. So anyway, we will allow the people to ask questions to you if there are any questions from the audience at the end of this session. So we will proceed till that. We'll complete the rest, few more things to be completed. And after that, we will open up to have discussions. Okay. So thank you once again. So a beautiful talk, and we are immensely blessed to have your talk and filled with devotion and with knowledge and humor. Thank you so much again. So let me just share the screen. This speaker was Sri Ramachandra Rao ji. He's a very well-known speaker of Bhagavad Gita in Singapore. Okay, now we have two more items to be completed. We have a quiz actually on this chapter, and many of the questions, I will just go through it briefly. So basically, there are two types of questions in this. One is to be answered in a couple of words, a few words, and another in a sentence of less than 20 words. And basically, all the questions are based only on chapter 7, and questions of each session will be explained here. You can always see the videos which are available on the YouTube page of Gita Jayanti as well as Facebook page of Gita Jayanti if you want to see it again. And the questions need to be answered through online links given in the next slide. So basically all the previous questions are there even now. tinyurl.com, Gita mini quiz S1 to S7, and S8 has become S08. So please remember this thing, www.tinyurl.com, Gita mini quiz S08, series, session 08. Okay. So only answers will be taken from this online Google form. So let me just go through the questions. And actually, if you have listened to the talk by Rauji, you would have already get most of the answers to this. So in 7.5, Krishna says there are 8-fold Prakriti, which is discussed in 7.4. And he says in 7.5 that there are two types. One is called Apara Prakriti, and another is called Para. What does he call the Prakriti, which Para Prakriti is one of them, and the other, what is the other type of Prakriti that is that upholds all life? That is a question. So I almost gave the answer. Sorry. Okay. Next one is in the same chapter in 7th verse 7. Matta Parataram Danyata. There is a beautiful imagery of a string of pearls, and what is Lord Krishna himself in this string of pearls? So this whole existence is being compared to a string of pearls, and what is the role of Krishna himself? And next question is on 727. Krishna says that all beings get deluded by dualities arising out of two factors. What are they? So basically, he says that all the delusions are actually have their origin in the two factors that is being discussed in 727. In 7.11, he says, like I think this point was already talked about by Rauji, Balam Balavatam Chaham. Krishna says that strength is in the strong. Krishna himself is the strength in the strong, but with certain conditions. What conditions? So it's not that all kinds of strength is Krishna. Only certain types of strength are Krishna. And what are those kind of strength which are actually of his nature? And similarly, he also talks in the same verse in 7.11, Balam Balavam Chaham. Krishna says that he is also Kama, not just, normally people associate Kama with bad things, but he says he is himself Kama too, but under certain conditions. So what are those conditions? So what kind of Kama is actually that of Lord Krishna himself? So these are the questions in type 1. And in type 2, he says this requires longer answers. And Krishna describes Prakriti as being split into 8 categories in 7.4. What are those 8? So, I mean, if you read these words, you will know Bhuminapo, Nalo, Vayuhu, like that it goes. In 7.16, he says there are 4 types of people seeking him. What are these 4 types? These 4 types are mentioned by Rauji, Chaturvidha Bhatandema. So this is the thing. In 7.8, Krishna describes himself as what in water, in sun, in moon, in the Vedas, Akasha, and in men. So he says that he's certain aspects of water, certain aspect of sun, certain aspect of moon. Veda, in Veda, what is he? Like that, he is actually identifying the key aspect of each of these and identifying himself with that. So what are these? And similarly, in 7.9, he says that he's what in earth, in fire, in living beings, in ascetics. So what is it? These are all questions to basically go into the text itself in depth, so that you go understand the text in detail, because it's not enough to have just superficial knowledge. You should understand the deep knowledge of what is really written there. And the next final question is the most tricky one. What is the difference between Jnana and Vijnana in 7.2? This is probably going to be a tricky question, because like Rauji himself mentioned, there are various interpretations of Jnana and Vijnana. I think there are 5 places Vijnana is talked about in Bhagavad Gita, in which Sri Shankara Bhagavad himself gives one meaning. So you can use your own understanding and basically try to give the reason how you came to this meaning of Jnana. Jnana is pretty well known, but this difference between Jnana and Vijnana is somewhat of a deep nature and needs to be understood better. Okay, so these are the 10 questions in type 1 and type 2. Okay, now we move over to the concluding mantras. This will be done by Lataji. And as we discussed in the beginning, we are going to have Guru Purnima, and our Rauji also talked about his Guru, and it is a right opportunity to seek blessings from all the Gurus, because all these teachings, nothing is possible without the blessings of the Gurus. And we will take this opportunity to seek our respects and our obeisance to the Gurus, all the Guru traditions of India, and all the Guru traditions of the world. And then we will go to the final concluding mantras. Over to Lataji, please.
Akhanda mandalakaram vyaptai yena characharam tatpadan darshitai yena tasmai shri gurave namaha ajnanatimidandhasya jnananjanashalakaya chakshurunmilitai yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurudeva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Dhanvantaramurtaye Amrita Kalashahastaya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokhyanathaya Mahavishnave Swaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Anantaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Anantaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Achyutaya Namaha. Om Anantaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Kayena vacha manasendriyaiva Buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि नारायणायेति समर्पयामि ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः
Thank you so much, Lataji, for those beautiful chantings. Now we have one announcement. We are going to have the Gita Havan on the 30th of 30th to 31st of this month, Sunday, and we will be having this Krishna Manjari program on the 10th of September. Surya Gayatri live. She's going to come to Singapore, and she's one of the very well-known singers, upcoming singers. With over 150 million viewership in YouTube and all that. She's a highly celebrated singer, and she'll be here for doing bhajans. And we'll also have performances from some of the local art groups of Singapore. Okay, so that is all the announcements, and this concludes the session for today. And the next session will be the session 9. So that will be 2 weeks from today, 23rd of July, 2022, Saturday, same time. We conclude the session, and now I request everybody to have open your videos so that we take a couple of snapshots and then open the thing for people to ask questions to our speaker for today. Can we just enable people to unmute themselves? So request everybody to enable your videos, please. Could you enable your videos, please, everybody? Request everybody to enable your videos, please. Okay, thank you so much. I think so now the stage is open for all the audience to ask questions to our speaker for today, as well as other distinguished previous speaker of last time and other well-known people, people who can share your opinions as well as feedback. So any questions, anybody? Nobody is asking questions. That's bad. Okay, I will ask question first to as a kickstarter. Okay, Rauji, if you see this verse in I think, yeah, I'll share the screen. So here, Bhagavan says, Bhumi Rapo Nado Vayu Kamano Buddhirevacha. So he says that basically he's the 5 Panjabhudas. Then he says he's Manasa, Buddhi, and Ahankara. Okay, so these are the 8 categories of Prakriti, he says. And whereas he says in later, a bit later, he says that he's the Jiva Jivanam in the Buddhas. So basically, he's the life of the Buddhas. So he's the life. So he is distinguishing himself from the Prakriti, and Prakriti is actually the 8 categories which I mentioned here. But he himself is actually the life among all the Buddhas. So my question here is, what is your what is this Prakriti means? I mean, is it really material? Does it material? And what is its take on, for example, on artificial intelligence? Recently there was some reporting in Google where they have a product called as Lambda, and now there are a lot of questions in CNN and other international press about this Lambda becoming sentient. It becoming coming to life. So if somebody is interested, I can actually show some yeah. For example, this you can see on the screen, right? Is Lambda sentient? So this was widely popular in the recent past couple of weeks. So this basically this product of Google, whether it has come to life or not. So that is the question. So from this perspective of Bhagavad Gita's classification of Prakriti and this life, so what is your take on these kind of claims of artificial intelligence becoming conscious or becoming life itself? You have to unmute yourself.
Jai Shri Krishna, I'll try to answer. If there are any addition supplements, all of you can contribute to that. I see this Prakriti, Bhagavan himself said, it is 8 elements, he said. Prakriti Ashtadha. Let us divide this 8 into first 5 elements, that is Vayu, Akasa, Bhumi, etc., etc. And the other 3 are mind, Mana, Buddhi, Ahankar. Okay, let us deal with these 5 elements. Simple story, you must have already heard it. One scientist who is capable of doing what all God can do. So he challenged God, what is the greatness in you? Come, let us come. I will defeat you. God wants to go a long live after this COVID, so many travels are open. So God says, oh, someone is there who can take care of my duty. Okay, come. I'm ready. I'm very eager. Come on. Let's have it. I'll go for a long live. Mahalakshmi is really pestering. Fine. So this scientist trying to, get so many question paper, this and that. I said, God, no, I am ready to go, man. Don't do that. Simple one test. That also for you. If you win, I will go on a long live. You can take over the God's ship. And he said, what is that? Can you make a pot? Huh? Pot? See, he said, I thought God is so much of intellect. You are telling in various chapters say that intellect is me, and you want me to make a pot. Within a minute I will make. Yeah, please. So immediately he ordered some mud, he ordered some water, he ordered some fire, he trying to do it. God said, no. This mud belongs to me. This water belongs to me. This fire belongs to me. This space belongs to me. This is more important for the person. Especially, you create your own raw material. Can you do it? So that's how God's Prakriti of 5 elements are there. Now, anything you can think about it, okay, in a laboratory you can think that, okay, H2O, you can create it. Okay, but where is the space creation? So that is one point. Second point is Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara. I am meant to see a development where the Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara, that God has actually given Mahat Tattva Rupa, yet to see, because the Mana, Buddhi and Ahankara is because of the Vasanas and they are dynamic. So do you have that? But he also says on its own, these 5 elements plus 3 Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara cannot do anything in the Jagat. The Jagat, my consciousness should be there. So it's not one formula. It is like A plus B plus C whole square is equal to A square plus B square plus C square plus 2AB plus 2BC plus 2CA. So if somebody wants to say, oh, A square plus B square, I am ready. No, man, you have to still fill up the formula. That formula is mine. And all that is given is the consciousness. So together I am. We may bring in, there is no doubt about the advancement in the science. But again, entire science expedition and exploration and advancement is within the ambit of the Jagat. And in this Jagat, we have to use these 8 elements in a combination. Somebody may use 2 combinations, somebody may 5 combination. If all are not used, space we have to use. Mind on its own we have to use. So that's a great kind of a statement in chapter, in verse 4 and 5, Bhagavan says, that is called Jiva. The Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara, along with this consciousness is Jiva. Otherwise, if Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara is not there, if we have crossed over, we are into category 4. So we are still in category 3. Jai Sri Krishna. I thought I could answer to the extent what I can. You can add it if I miss or if I am wrong.
Thank you, Rauji. I just want to stimulate some thoughts and some discussions. So, Rajeshji, want to say anything?
Thank you, Krishna ji. I just wanted to say that chapter 7 is absolutely fascinating, and it gives me so many goosebump moments when I read those shlokas. And there are so many. If I have to single out, the most favorite shlokas of mine from chapter 7, there'll be at least 10. And you all spoke about Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Kam Mano Buddhi Revacha Ahankariti Yamme Vinna Prakriti Rashtadha. So my understanding of the body, there is a gross body, which is made up of fire, water, air, ether, and space, air, ether, and fire, water, air, space, and earth. These are the 5 gross elements, and there is no problem in understanding that the physical body, the gross body, the sthul sharir is made up of that. Then when I was learning about the subtle body, I was told that there are 18 elements, 5 pranas, the panch pran, the 5 karmendriya, 5 jnanendriya, and man, buddhi, and ahankar. And I was very fascinated with this knowledge that apart from the gross body that we have the subtle body, which is made up of these 18 elements. And out of which Sri Krishna says these 8 elements, man, buddhi, ahankar, and the 5 gross bodies are the chief, the material elements. And it was very fascinating for me to learn that the man is also material, buddhi is also material, and ahankar is also material, because it all emanates from the prakriti. And then Shri Krishna talks about there is jiva and there is this material energy. So this model that there is God and then there is Maya, and then the manifestation that we have is all the elements of the material energy was very fascinating. As the clarity of my doubts. And similarly, when I read about, Mattah Partaram Nanyat Kinchi Dasti Dhananjaya Mai Sarvamidam Protam Sutre Manigana, I was in ecstasy to hear from Sri Krishna that Mattah Partaram Nanyat, there is nothing beyond me. That is such a statement, and he says how I am connected in everything like the beads in the string. And another goosebump moment was when I read, Chaturvida Bhajante Mam Jana Sukitna Arjuna Artho Arthati Jigyasi Gyani Cha Vartarsabha, the categories with the smoothness Shri Krishna has described. These are the 5 types of people who don't come to me, and these are the 4 types of people who don't come to me, and these are the 4 types of people who surrender to me. Na Mam Duskritno Mudha, Namam Duskritno Mudha Bhajante, that, Jigyasur, Gyani Cha Vartarsabha, and Maya Aprita Jnana, Maya Aprita, that shloka. So there is so much to learn from chapter 7. It is so fascinating. If you provoke me, I'll take half an hour to talk about it. But I just must compliment Rao Sahab for linking it with the cricket. You can really understand devotion with the help of cricket, like you said. In the 3rd verse, Sri Krishna says, Manushya Nam Sahastreshu Kashti Datati Siddhe Yatadam Api Siddhanam Kashtin Mam Vetti Tattvataha. And this was always a problem with me. How, Sri Krishna, you are saying the number of devotees is so few. There are so many people who are the devotees, But Sri Krishna, you are telling out of thousands and thousands and thousands, only one person will endeavor to become perfect. And out of those thousands and thousands and thousands, only one person will know me. So to come to the Indian cricket team from 1.3 billion is such a magnificent thing to do. And out of those 15 players who are coming every year, only one person will really understand what is a googly, what is a Chinaman, what is a reverse swing. So amazing, amazing, amazing. Rao Sahab, please keep linking Bhagavad Gita to cricket. It makes it very fascinating. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to speak out my points.
Thank you so much.
Rajeshji, I heard your session last session. Rajeshji, it was mesmerizing, wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Speak with passion, and you know, Bhagavad Gita is to be spoken with passion or love. I was seeing your passion in previous session as well as in our comments.
Thank you very much. And as I mentioned, please keep linking it with the cricket and whichever games and whatever way we can spread Bhagavad Gita. That's the greatest role that we have to play. And all kudos to Krishna ji and everyone in Gita Jayanti Singapore for doing it so amazingly well. The way you all conduct the quiz, you know, you pick up all the key points in the verses. It's a revision for me. I'm learning Bhagavad Gita from your GJ Gita Jayanti, the Facebook posts. I often go into the chapters to polish whatever little I know. So the wonderful work. Jai Radhe Radhe, Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much, Anandji, Rajeshji, so for those nice words. Yeah, as usual, as Rauji correctly said, the passion that is essential. You know, the passion. You should always to approach everything with 100% commitment. And that only is Ananyas Chinta Indoma. So that is without dilution, without any.
I will tell you a secret. Sorry, Krishna ji, because I studied mechanical engineering. I studied business management, but they never fascinated me because there were so many questions which were unanswered. And I was thinking, is my life going to be so unexciting? And then Bhagavad Gita came into my life. Now my mechanical engineering, business management, everything becomes exciting because of Bhagavad Gita. That is the difference.
Excellent, excellent. Anybody else ask any questions? It's already 1:15, so time for us to wind up. Sudhitji or I think our Sunilji has also joined. Okay, I didn't see him. Okay, Sunilji has joined, I think. Wonderful.
Namaste. Namaste.
I'm missing you, Sunilji. I'm missing you.
Yeah, we all missed you.
Very happy to see Rajeshji all.
Your invocation slokas and Gita Mahatyam, I will never miss. I will just switch on that time, at least here to hear your chanting.
Yeah, only thing today he had other appointments, so he was not free.
without Sunilji's words, without his smile, without his words on Gyan, complete.
The 7th chapter, Jnana, Saisandhika Jnana, and Anubhava. And the question Kekeji was asking, I'm just putting one to this thing that in the relative world, it's all related. Krishna here says that asti astedi, that feeling of I amness, which is actually permanent. One who knows oneself and the world, that is the real that jivatva, which is Brahma, as Shankara said. So here, one who has that experience, he is none but that divine in nature. To experience it in full, that is actually Anubhava Jnana. We are, as Kalidasa said, Udubena Asmi Sagaram. It is comparing the ant to the ocean. We are only knowing that Saisandhika Jnana, which we discussed. But in this chapter, we have Saisandhika Jnana, and to the extent Krishna has given, Vijnana also, that truth which is Paramatma. Hari.
Yeah. Actually, what really struck me about this chapter is that, the distinguishing between the material things, the Ashtada Prakriti and the Jivanam. So only for Jivanam, that means life alone, Krishna says, I am Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu. He says, Punyo Gantha Pradiviyam cha Tejas Chasmi Vibhavaso Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu Tapas Chasmi Tapassushu. He doesn't say that he is actually Buddhi. He doesn't say he is Manasa. He doesn't say that he is Hankaram. He says only he is Jivanam. So only life is Krishna. The rest are all material. The rest are all Prakriti. So the life is really there. I know, like Rajeshwari also said, I was also struck by the fact that the material things are, intelligence is material, consciousness is material. So even Chetana, is also material only. So all these things are material. Really, what is non-material is the jiva, the life principle in each of us. That is what is Krishna. So this is what I understand.
And Krishna ji, the verse Balam Balvatam Chaham Kamosmi Vartarshava, it is amazing. First time I discovered that Sri Krishna is telling the lust in you, the lusty thoughts in you is also me, provided it is within the boundary of dharma.
Correct. Yes.
I mean, this was a great knowledge for many people. So chapter 7, what to say? You should have special sessions on this chapter, Krishna ji, and enchant everyone in the universe.
And 7th and 8th, and 8th also has got a lot of the Adhyajna, Adhibhuda, and these are all subtle, very subtle concepts, and very difficult to understand.
And Krishna ji, Rasoham Apsu Konteya, Prabhasmi Sasi Shurya, Pranava Sarva Vedesu.
Correct.
What a shloka! I am the taste in water.
Yes.
Amazing.
Absolutely. So Bhagavad Gita is something which you have to learn, every word. Even the word, the Jnana and Vijnana, there are so many interpretations of this Jnana and Vijnana. So what is Vijnana and what is Jnana? So there are so many people, like Shankara is given in many places, and many other people have written many. But many people actually say that Vijnana is actually the material knowledge, whereas Jnana is Visheshana Jnana. That means, for example, like physics, mathematics, all is Vijnana. There are some people who say like that.
Or you can put it this way: Jnana is the theoretical knowledge, and Vijnana is the experiential, as Rao said.
That's also another. Actually, Shankara says like that only. Shankara says Anubhava Jnana is only Vijnana, but that is only one of the ideas. There are many other interpretations too.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's already 1:20. So if there are no other questions, I think we can wind up. Anybody else has any questions? Sujitji or anybody else?
I think Ji. Thanks, Rauji, for sharing the meanings of the verses so beautifully.
Yes.
The thing is, see, it is an innovative way. Because in today's world, if you talk about Adhyatma only, people are young students, it will be difficult for them to understand. When you incorporate cricket and other lively things, it will make them understand, okay, we can relate these things to our daily life also. Like Anandji said, management, how important it is to understand Gita from the day-to-day angle. It gives very interesting insights for all of us, definitely.
I'm drinking water and I'm saying the taste in water is Shri Krishna. That's what he says. Rasoham apsu konteya.
True.
So you can implement Bhagavad Gita every moment in your life. But to illustrate that, Krishna ji, let us have a cricket team and let people know that we also play cricket.
True.
And like I think Sujit just now said, very important for us to relate to what's happening in today's world. It's very, very important. So cricket is important. That's the reason why I brought in artificial intelligence. The question about the lambda in Google. So basically, it is a thing which is happening now. How does Bhagavad Gita relate to what's happening in the cricket world, as well as in physics, as well as in computer science? So it's important for us to correlate it to everything. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, something which is not related to our life has no meaning. It is just purely in the brain only, of no use.
Thing is, it will not motivate the younger generation to learn.
Correct, exactly.
If you don't do that.
Younger people think that it is something, for old people sitting in some Himalayas or somewhere, not for people who are sitting in today's world. But today it is meant for the people of this living in this world. So that is the whole idea. Okay, Hari Om. So let us wind up for today. And if there are no other questions, let us bow our Sashtanga pranams to all the great gurus whose memory is coming up in the Guru Purnima next week, and also to all our guest of honor for today, Dr. Varaprasadji, then our speaker for today is Raoji, and all our wonderful chanters, beautifully who chanted the wonderful chapter 7 as the Dhyana Slokas and the initial mantras and everything, and also all the participants, our humble prostrations, and we offer everything to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and it is our offering to Lord Krishna this year now. Thank you very much, and see you next in the next week. Hari Om.